Hey everybody, I am Gretchen Wegner, an anti-boring approach academic life coach, and this summer I have been reading this book, Rest: Why You Get More Done When You Work Less. And in the last couple of videos, I shared a really cool note-taking technique that I used to fit all of my notes from this book all onto one page. Today, and in the next few videos, I want to share some really fun facts with you that I think are super important for students to pay attention to particularly. So the first fact for today is, and you might have heard this elsewhere, I believe from Malcolm Gladwell, but there is this idea out in the world that it takes about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice of playing violin or playing basketball, or whatever the thing is that you want to become expert in, that most of the people who are really great at that thing, some of the science proves that they have spent 10,000 hours deliberately honing their skills. Now, that's a fact that's out there in the culture at this point, but this author, Alex Soojung Kim Pang, he says that research didn't pay attention to some crucial data in the study. And here is the full data that he has gleaned. It doesn't just take 10,000 hours of practice. If you just practice, and you don't get 10 or 12,500 hours of deliberate rest, and then 30,000 hours of sleep during this time, you'll be much less likely to develop this expert talent at your skill. And I thought that was fascinating. He proved case study after case study of all of these people who are amazing at the work they do, that they deliberately rest. If you don't take time in between these deliberate practices, which are super exhausting, by the way, so exhausting that you need rest to recover. And when we're talking deliberate rest, by the way, we're not just talking about like playing around on Instagram or playing video games. We're talking about very specific activities that create rest for the brain, even though they're very active. And I'll talk in later videos about what some examples of deliberate rest look like. But for this video, I just wanted you to just really take in this idea that 10,000 hours of practice is not the only thing you need, that you also need even more hours of rest and then even more hours of sleep. And the only way to really get all that done is to schedule it in, to make sure that you are deliberately practicing and deliberately resting. Now, the last fact that I want to share with you related to this topic is that, I just want to write this on here, this research was listed in the chapter that's titled 4 Hours in this book, because his research also showed that most of the expert basketball players and expert artists and writers and all of that, they don't really spend more than 4 hours a day in deliberate practice. And when you spend 4 hours a day doing this sort of thing, you have more time in your day to do more restful things. So I found that really interesting. I also find it interesting because if you look at the way we structure students' days, how are they possibly going to do all this? How is a student possibly going to have time for more deliberate rest than they do the practice they do, as well as time for sleep? So I find it very interesting and also a little sad that the very things we need in our lives in order to create expertise, we structure a high school student, at least, we structure their day so that they're actually not able to accomplish this kind of a schedule. So I'd be so curious to know what your thoughts are about this idea. I'll share more fun facts from the book Rest in the next videos, but in the meantime, Gretchen at Gretchen Wegner is where you can find me. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.